Good morning, all of you all. Yesterday we had started with a new chapter that is sexual reproduction in flowering plants, and we had seen up till the uh, male reproductive structure of the flowering plants, right? So today we'll go ahead with something called as microsporogenesis, and of course we're going to talk about the pistil, the megaspore, and the formation of the ovule as well. Okay, so yeah, beta. Yeah, good morning, good morning. Fine. So let's move ahead with our session and we'll talk about the microscope. So, yeah, so we have seen up till here, that is, we have seen up till the formation of the microspore along with the external structures and all, right? That was your sporopollenin, which I talked about yesterday. And I had shown you the array, right? 1 minute. I'll just open my laser pointer. Yes. Okay. So here till here we have seen in the yesterday's class. So I told you what is a pollen kit, and I had also discussed about the intine and the exine. अगर आपको याद है तो exine was something which was the outer covering of our pollen grain, and intine was the inner covering. Outer covering was not entire. There was some gaps in between where the sporopollenin was not deposited, and those gaps would be called as germ pores. Is what we saw in the last class, right? So now we can go ahead with the new one. Yeah, this was the last slide that we completed yesterday. So now we move ahead with the new one. So here, pre-pollination development was something which I wanted to start. Microspores start germinating in situ, and such type of germination is going to be called as precocious. Now, what do you mean by the word in situ? In situ का मतलब होता है there and then. So when they are going to be present inside the microsporangium, or when they are going to be formed inside the pollen gland grain or pollen sac, उधर ही ये माइक्रोस्पोर का जर्मिनेशन स्टार्ट होता है. जर्मिनेशन स्टार्ट होता है मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? फर्दर डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट हो जाती है. सो सी, yesterday we saw that there was a cell which was undergoing mitosis, right? Which then formed two cells, parietal, which was outside, and sporogenous, which was inside, right? Outer cell, which was the parietal hypodermal cell, में से जो parietal cell था, primary था, it underwent mitosis to form your endothecium, middle layer, and tapetum, correct? And the inner layer, it underwent mitosis to form a group of cells called as sporogenous tissue. Then we saw every cell of the sporogenous tissue could develop into microspore mother cell and could undergo meiosis. And after undergoing meiosis, each mother cell produced four haploid spores, either by simultaneous type of cytokinesis or successive type of cytokinesis. These four haploid cells are held together and are going to be called as a tetrad. We call them as pollen tetrad. And these pollen tetrads are arranged in different shapes and different orders depending upon their cytokinesis, right? So tetrahedral tetrad, isobilateral tetrad, T-shaped tetrad, decussate tetrad, linear tetrad, with some different types of arrangement of these four pollen grains, right? Now they are saying the pollen grains are going to start germinating the pollen grains are going to start germinating in C2. In C2 का मतलब क्या है बेटा? Inside the pollen sac. अभी तक ये pollen grains जो है ये पूरी तरह से बाहर disperse नहीं हुए हैं. Before they are dispersed outside, before they are dispersed outside, there and then the pollen germination initiates. समझ में आ गई बात? So ये जो 4 pollen grain बने हैं, they all will undergo some sort of development. Okay, so this development will be called as precocious type of development. Did you all get this? What I'm trying to tell you? समझ में आ रही है बेटा बात? तो ये जो प्रिकॉशियस टाइप ऑफ डेवलपमेंट है या ये जो माइक्रोस्पोर्स में जो डेवलपमेंट होने वाली है, व्हाट इज दैट? इज समथिंग दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड राइट नाउ. So what are we, what are we actually going to go ahead with? Is that understood to all of you all? Is there any difficulty in understanding this particular point? That what are we right now looking at? So right now we are looking at pollen grain के अंदर क्या क्या डेवलपमेंट होने वाली है. ठीक है? Okay, fine. So microspores may be best defined as partially developed male gametophytes. We know that they are male gametophytes. As I told you, in plant kingdom also, gametophyte का मतलब क्या होता है? What do you mean by the word gametophyte? The one which is going to make gametes, the one which is going to hold the gametes. So ये जो microspore है, ये जो pollen grain है, this pollen grain is going to hold the male gametes inside it. तो हमें क्या लग रहा था अब तक? पोलन ग्रेन ही फ्यूज होगा एग के साथ. ना बेटा, पोलन ग्रेन के अंदर मेल गैमीट्स बनेंगे और ये मेल गैमीट्स फ्यूज होंगे एग के साथ. डिड यू ऑल गेट मी व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू? ओके, सो ये पोलन ग्रेन के अंदर अब मेल गैमीट्स कैसे बनते हैं इज व्हाट वी हैव टू सी. फाइन, अंडरस्टूड? Get connected, my dears, get connected, otherwise you would be lost. Fine. One more time I'm repeating everything whatever I have said, so that again you come to know that where am I karke. Okay, first thing we saw was the anther. When it is young, it is going to have one type of cell which is called as your hypodermal cell. Okay, this hypodermal group of cell will be surrounded by epidermis. Okay, this hypodermal cell will first undergo cell division to form two cells, primary parietal cell and inner sporogenous primary cell. Primary parietal divide होके बनेंगे 3 layers, endothecium, middle layer and tapetum. And inner sporogenous cell will divide to form the sporogenous tissue. The sporogenous tissue के cells will act as MMC, that is microspore mother cells, will undergo meiosis to form 4 haploids. Each haploid will be called as a pollen grain. Now this pollen grain will start its precocious development. That is, this pollen grain will start germinating. That means it is going to begin its journey of making male gametes inside it. Okay, got it? Yeah. Now see, how does this take place? So the microspore nucleus, that is the pollen grain nucleus, divides mitotically to form two cells. One is a larger cell, other is a smaller cell. So the smaller cell का नाम है generative cell and the larger cell name is vegetative cell. So which are the two cells which are going to be produced by the pollen grains after mitosis? Generative cell, vegetative cell. Generative cell छोटू है और vegetative cell बड़ा है. ठीक है? So they are going to undergo unequal cell division. Who? Each pollen grain. ठीक है? Now what will happen? See, yeah. So it will form a smaller generative cell lying next to the spore wall and much larger vegetative cell, also called as tube cell. Vegetative cell contains large amount of food reserve and an irregularly shaped nucleus. Now see that generative cell छोटू है, वो जो छोटू सेल है उसको खाने के लिए कुछ तो चाहिए, नरिशमेंट के लिए कुछ तो चाहिए, तो उसको नरिशमेंट कौन प्रोवाइड करेगा बेटा? The nourishment will be provided by the vegetative cell. Now, if you recollect yesterday's lecture, I had told you all that middle layer will provide nourishment to the microspore mother cell. Tapetum will provide nourishment to the microspores, and vegetative cell of the microspore will provide nourishment to the generative cell. Now these 3 points you have to note it down. ये तीनों पॉइंट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, कौन किसको खाना खिला रहा है, ठीक है? एक ही बंदा सबको नहीं खाना खिलाता है यहाँ पर, अलग अलग बावर्ची लोग हैं यहाँ पर, डिफरेंट शेफ्स. One chef is for MMC, one chef is for Poland grain, and now this is a third chef which is developed for whom? For the generative cell. Okay, so एक माइटोसिस होने पर पोलन ग्रेन में एक माइटोसिस होने के बाद कितने सेल बने? One pollen grain was one cell structure. After one mitosis, it will form two cell structure, right? Both the cells में से one cell is small, one cell is large. Smaller cell will be called as the generative cell. Larger cell will be called as the vegetative cell. This vegetative cell is going to provide nourishment to the generative cell. Okay? Yeah, what you want me to repeat slow? You should remember this, my dears. Chalo, I'll repeat it. Middle layer provides nourishment to microspore mother cell. Write down. Middle layer provides nourishment to the microspore mother cell. Okay. Second, write down. Tapetum provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Tapetum provides nourishment to the developing pollen grains. Yeah, beta. Middle layer provides nourishment to the MMC, that is microspore mother cell. Tapetum provides nourishment to the microspore or pollen grain. And third, write down, vegetative cell provides nourishment to the generative cell. Vegetative cell provides nourishment to the generative cell. Okay? You understood how the vegetative and generative cells are formed? Yes. Okay. So middle for MMC. Middle for MMC. Tapetum for microspore or pollen grain. And vegetative cell for generative cell. Okay, yeah, I've repeated, beta. Done, all of you all? Okay. Am I lagging? No, I don't guess I'm lagging. Am I lagging, beta? No, I think there's some connection error with you, my dear. Check. Yeah, because someone is saying that, ma'am, you are lagging. I can't. Okay, fine. Well, now see what happens next. Here you can see the diagram. I'll explain with the help of the diagram over here. You have got a diagram over here. See? So this is going to be your pollen grain. You can see the exine and the intine. This is the nucleus. Okay. Now, after the cell division, there are two cells which are going to be formed. One which is a smaller cell over here, and one which is a larger cell over here. The smaller cell will be called as the generative cell, and the larger cell will be called as the vegetative cell. Okay. Correct? Okay, 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 fine. Then next is C. The generative cell is small and it floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. So it appears like a small generative cell floating in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell. Okay. Now see, the generative cell is a spindle shaped structure. You can see very clearly that the generative cell is a spindle. You know what's a spindle, right? So it's a spindle shaped structure with dense cytoplasm. What do you mean by the word dense? Dense का मतलब होता है बहुत ज़्यादा. Dense का मतलब thick नहीं होता है बेटा. Dense का मतलब होता है in large amount. Okay. So the vegetative cell is going to have dense cytoplasm also. Okay. The pollen grains are shed from anther at this bi-celled stage in over 60% of the angiosperms. And in remaining species of the angiosperm, the generative cell will undergo one more mitosis to give rise to two new cells, which would be called as the male gametes. Now, understand this very nicely, my dears. In 60% of the angiosperm species, so out of 100% of the species that have been discovered so far, almost 60% of the species are going to shed their pollen grains in this particular bi-celled structure. What do you mean by bi-celled structure over here? वेजिटेटिव एंड जनरेटिव. तो 60% ऑफ द एंजियोस्पर्म्स है ना, जैसे ही वेजिटेटिव और जनरेटिव सेल बन जाती है ना, तो पोलन ग्रेन्स डिस्पर्स कर देते हैं. They'll disperse their pollen grain at this stage. Okay, but next 40% or the remaining 40% of angiosperms, उनमें क्या होता है, उनमें ये जो generative cell है ना बेटा, it will undergo one more cell division. So that generative cell will again divide into two cells, and these two cells will be called as male gametes. इसका मतलब क्या 60% ऑफ दी एंजियोस्पर्म्स में मेल गैमीट्स बनते ही नहीं है. 40% में ये दो मेल गैमीट्स बन रहे करके हमें दिखाई दे रहा है. They are saying that in rest of the 40%, the generative cell breaks further to form two male gametes. Does that mean that the two-celled pollen which is going to be dispersed will not have male gametes? ऐसे होगा? What do you all think? No ना? कि yes, ऐसे हो सकता है. मेल गैमीट्स बनेंगे ही नहीं उनमें. ऐसे होगा? Will it happen like that way? Tell me. Obviously not. Yes. So it's not going to happen like that way. Why it's not going to happen like that way? Because because there is always fertilization with two male gametes. So दो male gametes बनने ही है. It's a thumb rule. So what will happen in them? Okay, simple thing, my dears. In these 60% of angiosperms, which have been laid out of the anther will fall on the stigma, right? And on falling on the stigma, then they will undergo this second mitotic division. मतलब जेनरेटिव सेल का जो सेकेंड माइटोसिस हो रहा है ना, वो कहाँ होगा? वो एंथर में होने के बदले वो स्टिग्मा के ऊपर जाने के बाद होगा. बट होगा सही ना, राइट? सो वन वुड बी टेकिंग इन C2 उधर के उधर, एंड वन वुड बी टेकिंग XC2. सो 60% ऑफ एंजियोस्पर्म्स में XC2 डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द मेल गैमीट्स होते हैं, while 40% में in situ होते हैं. Okay, so I'll just show you this also now. Yeah, see, the liberated pollen grains are transferred to the receptive surface of the carpel, that is the stigma, by the process called as pollination. Of course, we are going to deal in detail about all the pollination types and agents. On the stigma, the pollen absorbs the water. Actually, it's not water, it is, sugar syrup. It's sugar syrup. So it absorbs the water or the sugar syrup and swells up in few minutes. Okay. It releases the wall held recognition factors. The factors determine whether the pollen grain will germinate on the stigma or not. मतलब इमेजिन कर लो बेटा, मैंगो का फ्लावर है और मैंगो के फ्लावर पे अगर पपाया का पोलन ग्रेन आके गिर गया, तो will it allow germination? Is it possible? Who rejects it or who allows it? This is called as pollen pistil interaction. So that particular pollen should be of the right type. What do you mean by the right type? It should be of that same species, only then germination is possible. नहीं तो क्या मिलेगा आपको? A mixture of papaya and mango. Oh my god, how will it taste? अच्छा लगेगा? मैंगो में कंटामिनेशन आ जाएगा पपाया का, तो अच्छा लगेगा आपको? So exactly, papaya and mango, like it will be, right? So that is the reason natural hybrids नहीं बनते हैं. Okay, that is the reason that natural hybrids नहीं बनते हैं. Okay, so exactly. So no, they are different. They are, अरे ये क्या आ गया? They are different बेटा. That's a altogether different species. Okay, so that is not going to be enjoyed by anyone of yours. So that is the fact that natural hybridization होना थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है. So ये recognition factors होते हैं. Okay, so it releases the wall held recognition factors. These factors determine whether the pollen grain will germinate on the stigma or not. Fine. Subsequent to mutual recognition, after understanding here this is of the right type, this is the same type of pollen as that of the pistil, then what will happen? The vegetative cell enlarges and comes out through one of the apertures in the form of pollen tube. Now aperture किधर है? That aperture का नाम क्या है? The name of the aperture is germ pore. So as the pollen grain will be allowed to drink the sugary syrup. कहाँ बना sugary syrup? कहाँ बना? स्टिग्मा के ऊपर. ओके, ये स्टिग्मा है, उसके ऊपर पोलन आके गिर गया. अब ये स्टिग्मा ने क्या बनाया? शरबत बनाया. कौन सा शरबत बनाया? बहुत मीठा टेस्टी शरबत बनाया. ओके, अब ये शरबत के ऊपर जैसे ही पोलन ग्रेन आकर गिर गया, और अगर वो पोलन ग्रेन राइट टाइप का है, ओके, तो क्या हो जाएगा? पोलन ग्रेन विल बी अलाउड टू ड्रिंक दिस शरबत. पोलन ग्रेन शरबत पीने को स्टार्ट करेगा. जैसे ही वो शुगर सिरप पीने को स्टार्ट करेगा, उसकी साइज बढ़ती जाएगी, वो स्वेल होता जाएगा. कौन? पोलन ग्रेन. बराबर. नाउ एज द पोलन ग्रेन स्वेल्स अप, हाँ, वो टर्जिड हो जाएगा. अभी उसके पास कैपेसिटी ही नहीं है, वो फूट जाएगा, वो बर्स्ट हो जाएगा. तो बर्स्ट नहीं होना चाहिए, इसलिए क्या होता है, वो जैसे उसके अंदर का प्रेशर बढ़ने लगता है और वो बड़ा होने लगता है, और अब उसकी कैपेसिटी खत्म हो गई आगे बढ़ने की, तो व्हाट विल हैपन? जहां से ओपनिंग है, कहां पर ओपनिंग है? जर्म पोर में ओपनिंग है, राइट? तो जर्म पोर से ये जो प्रेशर है, ये रिलीज होने को स्टार्ट हो जाएगा. तो ये प्रेशर रिलीज होगा तो क्या हो जाएगा बेटा? ये जो इंटाइन है ना, इंटाइन, वो उस जर्म पोर से बाहर के तरफ एक ट्यूब के जैसे प्रोपेल करेगी. Got it? So what will happen now? That this particular intine will come out of one of the germ pores and it will form a tube-like structure, right? और ज्यादा वो शरबत पिएगा, जितना ज्यादा शरबत पिएगा उतना ये ट्यूब क्या होती जाएगी बेटा? It will become longer and longer. Correct? So this long tube which is going to be formed is going to be called as pollen tube. So pollen tube is nothing but it is the extension of the intine. Pollen tube is nothing but it is the extension of the intine. Understood? Because intine was entire. Exine था, उसमें gaps थे, और वो जो gaps थे उसको हम कहते थे germ pores, और उस gap में से अब intine क्या कर गई? आगे के तरफ ट्यूब के फॉर्म में बाहर आ गई. Right? So in this way, your pollen tube formation takes place. So the wall of the pollen tube is nothing but the extension of the intine. The tube secretes exogenous pectinases and hydrolytic enzymes to create a passage for its entry through the style. अब स्टिग्मा से ये जो पोलन ट्यूब है ये फॉर्म होने लगी है, तो ये आगे एक्सटेंड हो रही है, एक्सटेंड हो रही है, एक्सटेंड हो रही है, किधर एक्सटेंड हो रही है? इनटू द स्टाइल. सो स्टाइल को पियर्स करके ये पोलन ट्यूब को अंदर आना है टू रीच द ओवरी. So it is going to produce certain pectinases because style के अंदर जो टिश्यू है it is going to have pectin. तो पेक्टिनेज बनाएगा तो पेक्टिन डिग्रेड होता जाएगा, और जैसे ही पेक्टिन डिग्रेड होता जाएगा it will create a passage for the pollen tube to pass through it. Correct? It also absorbs nourishment from the transmitting tissue of the style. तो जैसे ही वो पेक्टिन को डिग्रेड करता है वैसे ही वो क्या करता है बेटा, उस टिश्यू के अंदर, उस स्टाइल के अंदर जो भी टिश्यू है उसके अंदर जितना भी नरिशमेंट है वो पोलन ट्यूब ले लेता है. Got it? So this is your post pollination development. That is when the pollen grains fall on the stigma, what would happen? Now जो थ्री सेल्ड स्ट्रक्चर है, थ्री सेल स्ट्रक्चर मीन्स एक वेजिटेटिव सेल और दो मेल गैमीट्स. जो थ्री सेल स्ट्रक्चर है उनको तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, they'll directly form this, you know, they'll directly the ट्यूब के अंदर ये दो मेल गैमीट्स और वो वेजिटेटिव सेल का न्यूक्लियस आ जाएगा. जो टू सेल्ड स्ट्रक्चर है उनमें क्या होता है बेटा, उनमें जैसे ही वो शुगर सिरप पीने को स्टार्ट करते हैं ना वैसे ही जेनरेटिव सेल सेकेंड माइटोटिक डिवीजन अंडरगो करता है, दो मेल गैमीट्स बनाता है और पोलन ट्यूब में एंटर करता है. So ultimately the pollen tube will have three things. पोलन ट्यूब के अंदर तीन चीजें होंगी. कौन सी तीन चीजें? फर्स्ट, द न्यूक्लियस ऑफ द वेजिटेटिव सेल. सेकेंड एंड थर्ड आर द टू मेल gametes. Would you understand this? Any doubts in this particular slide? Just check it out. है कोई डिफिकल्टी? देखो एक बार बेटा. Do you want me to repeat anything? Do you want me to explain anything, or have you all followed? So now what will happen with the pollen tube? Let us see. Okay, if you have got no doubts, I'll go ahead. Okay, my dears. So see, gradually what will happen? The vegetative and the generative nuclei will be carried by the pollen tube, and the former lying at its tip means the vegetative nucleus will be at the tip of the pollen tube. उसके पीछे दो मेल गैमीट्स है. तो ट्यूब के बिल्कुल ये पॉइंट पे कौन है? At this point of the tube there is going to be a vegetative nucleus. पीछे कौन है? दो मेल गैमीट्स. Fine. Now see, the generative cell divides to form two non-motile male gametes in the two cell structure वाला condition. और जो थ्री सेल वाला कंडीशन है उनमें तो ऑलरेडी मेल गैमीट्स बने हैं और यहाँ पर मेल गैमीट्स नॉन मोटाइल है. Remember this. In case of your flowering plants, the male gametes are non-motile. Okay. The tube nucleus has no important function. Okay. So non-motile male gametes. These two non-motile male gametes जो है ना बेटा, ये स्पेशलिटी है एंजियोस्पर्म्स की कि नॉन मोटाइल मेल गैमीट्स बनते हैं. फाइन, दे आर नॉट मोटाइल. The tube nucleus has no important function and it may degenerate. Pollen grains of many species cause severe allergies and bronchial afflictions, leading to chronic respiratory disorder called as asthma, bronchitis, etc. Example is Parthenium. तो ये जो पार्थेनियम ग्रास है ना बेटा, ये बहुत ज़्यादा ना पोलन एलर्जीज क्रॉस करता है. अस्थमा का प्रॉब्लम एग्रीवेट होता है, ब्रोंकाइटिस हो जाता है, अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट एज वेल एज लोअर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट, दोनों रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट का जो एरिया है ना, ये पोलन एलर्जीज की वजह से बहुत लोग परेशान हो जाते हैं. बट सी, पोलन ग्रेन्स आर रिच इन न्यूट्रिएंट्स. Pollen tablets and syrups are used as food supplements. Pollen consumption increases performance of the athletes and the race horses. तो ये pollen grain के कुछ positive points भी है. So there is a trend in Western countries, not in India, to consume pollen tablets. They actually consume pollen tablets. It gives a lot of energy. Okay. Pollen grains should be viable when they fall on stigma, so they may carry fertilization. They may carry out fertilization. Viability of the pollen grain depends upon existing temperature and humidity. अगर pollen grain बाहर आने के बाद, एंथर के बाहर आने के बाद वायबिलिटी लूज करेगा. वायबिलिटी मतलब क्या होता है कि कैपेसिटी टू फर्टिलाइज अगर वो चली गई उसकी, तो व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ दैट पोलन ग्रेन. करेक्ट. सो ये जो कैपेसिटी होती है उसकी टू फर्टिलाइज द एग, वो कब तक होती है, दैट पीरियड इज कॉल्ड एज वायबिलिटी पीरियड. Okay, now see, in rice, wheat, etc., the pollen grains lose their viability in a very short span of time. That is just within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes अगर उनको स्टिग्मा के ऊपर लैंड करने को नहीं मिला, तो वो पोलन गया काम से, कोई यूज नहीं है उस पोलन का. So within 30 minutes of the release of the pollen from the anther of rice, wheat, etc., they have to go and land on the stigma. Otherwise, the viability, the capacity to fertilize is gone. Okay. Pollen grains may remain viable for months in plants belonging to the families of Rosaceae, Leguminosae, and Solanaceae. तो उनमें इतनी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. रोजेसिए फैमिली, लेग्यूमिनेसिए फैमिली इज योर फेबेशिए फैमिली, सोलनेसिए फैमिली इज योर पोटैटो फैमिली. तो ये जो पोलन ग्रेन इनके होते हैं ना, दे कैन सस्टेन फॉर मंथ्स टुगेदर, सो नो इश्यूज विद देम. In many plants, pollen grains are stored in liquid nitrogen as minus 196 degrees Celsius for years altogether and can be used as pollen banks, like your seed banks or blood banks कैसे होते हैं ना वैसे. Such stored pollen grains can be used in plant breeding programs. So in this way, pollens can be stored, pollens can be used whenever we want, and they can be, be safeguarded. So जो rare species हो जाते हैं ना, उनके pollen generally इस तरीके से preserve किए जाते हैं, so that that the plant won't become extinct. Got it? So this is about your pollen grain की specialities. I guess this is simple. You'll have to remember minutes किसके लिए है और months किसके लिए है. A favorite question of your examiners. Well, that's all with your microspores. Now we come to megaspore. So any difficulty in understanding microspore? Anyone who did not follow any part of microspores? Or shall I go ahead with megaspore? Can I go ahead? Okay. The megaspore, or it's called as the, part of your female gametophyte. So we're going to understand what is the pistil, megasporangium, that is the ovule, and the embryo sac. The process of formation of megaspore from megaspore mother cell by meiotic divisions is called as megasporogenesis. This particular event takes place inside a structure called as the ovule. So the style stigma ovary. ओवरी के अंदर होता है प्लेसेंटा, प्लेसेंटा से कनेक्टेड होते हैं ये हमारे ओव्यूल्स. करेक्ट. और ये जो ओव्यूल है इसके अंदर अब क्या होने वाला है, समथिंग दैट वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट. स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द ओव्यूल, दैट इज द मेगास्पोरैंजिया. तो जैसे माइक्रोस्पोरैंजिया वाज योर पोलन सैक, वैसे ही मेगास्पोरैंजिया इज गोइंग टू बी द ओव्यूल that is going to be having the capacity to produce the megaspore. Correct. Pollen sac के अंदर क्या बन रहा था, pollen grain. तो माइक्रोस्पोरैंजिया के अंदर बन रहा था माइक्रोस्पोर. वैसे ही मेगास्पोरैंजिया के अंदर बनेगा मेगास्पोर। समझ में आ गई बात? ओके, so the ovule is an integumented megasporangium. Integumented means what beta? It is going to have a covering over it. So ये ovule है या फिर मेगास्पोरांजिया है, इसके ऊपर एक कवरिंग होता है, एक होता है, कभी कभी दो होते हैं। फाइन, so the ovule consists of the stalk and the body. The stalk of the ovule is called as the funicle, while the body of the ovule will be containing group of cells called as nucellus. आगे आएगा। One end of the funicle is attached to the placenta, and the other end of the ovule is attached to the body of the ovule. ठीक है? The point of attachment of the funicle with the body is called as hilum. I guess you remember this. This was done in morphology. What is hilum? Correct? So ये देखिए बेटा, जैसे कि एक सीड ले लो, कोई भी सीड, सीड के इधर आपको एक ऐसा एक्सटेंडेड पोर्शन दिखता है, ऐसा थिन फिलामेंट के जैसा, राइट? So that is going to be the funicle with which this particular ovule is attached to the placenta. ठीक है? Okay, fine. Sometimes funicle gets fused with the body of the ovule on one side and forms a ridge called as a raphe. Yeah, so sometimes ना ये funicle clearly demarc नहीं होता है. You are not able to see the funicle very clearly. Okay, why? Because this funicle gets integrated, embedded in the body of the ovule. Then that particular funicle will not be called as funicle, rather it would be called as raphe. So this is again a favorite question of the examiners. What is a raphe? This question is asked for one answer in one sentence in your board exams. Answer in one sentence 7 marks के questions हैं आपके boards में, 7 marks. उसमें से 1 mark का question ये आता है, what is raphe? So what you will say, that sometimes funicle gets fused with the body of the ovule on one side and it forms a ridge which is called as raphe. Okay, well, so then the body of the ovule shows two ends, the basal end often called as the chalazal end and the upper end often called as the micropylar end. Okay, अब ये देखो, अगर ये मेरा ये इस तरीके से अगर मैं ओव्यूल दिखा रही हूँ, पे अटेंशन, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज एंजियोस्पर्मिक ओव्यूल जो होता है ना, इसमें थोड़ा सा कहानी में ट्विस्ट है, तो ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस कि ये जो मैं दिखा रही हूँ, ये अगर मैं ओव्यूल दिखा रही हूँ, तो ये जो ओपनिंग है, दिस वन, this end will be called as the micropylar end and this end will be called as the chalazal end. So basal end chalazal, upper end micropylar. समझ में आ गया? Basal end chalaza, upper end micropylar. Okay, the main body of the ovule is covered with one or two envelopes which is called as integuments. कवरिंग्स होते हैं एक या दो. ओके, एक है तो उसको हम कहते हैं यूनिटेगमिक, दो है तो उसको हम कहते हैं बाइटेगमिक, और अगर कोई भी इंटेगमेंट नहीं है तो हम उसको कहते हैं एटेगमिक. ओके, काइंडली राइट डाउन दिस, आई एम डिक्टेटिंग. प्रेजेंस ऑफ नो इंटेगमेंट ऑन द ओव्यूल, presence of no integument on the ovule. Write down. This is important. Presence of no integument on the ovule. Is equal to का साइन करना, is equal to ategmic, ATE GMIC, ategmic. Presence of no integument of the ovule is equal to ategmic, ATEG MIC, ategmic. Okay. Next sentence you can write down. Presence of one integument on the ovule. Presence of one integument on the ovule is equal to unitegmic is equal to unitegmic, unitegmic, unitegmic. Hmm? Third, presence of two integuments, presence of two integuments on the ovule, presence of two integuments on the ovule is equal to bitegmic, bitegmic, bitegmic. लिखा? Done, done. Okay. So that is what they are saying कि ये ओव्यूल है, उसके ऊपर जनरली एक या दो कवरिंग्स होते हैं. तो क्या हो जाएगा, देखो ये जो कवरिंग है, आई एम फाइन. सो ये जो कवरिंग होता है ना बेटा, it is going to be all over the body of the ovule except at one particular point. Okay, एक पॉइंट पे सिर्फ वो कवरिंग नहीं है, अदरवाइज पूरे बॉडी के ऊपर ये इंटेगुमेंट्स कवर करते हैं except at one particular point, and this particular point is going to be called as micropyle. क्या कहते हैं ये पॉइंट को? Micropyle. So micropyle will not have the covering of the integument. Did you all understand? Got it? Yeah. So these leave an opening at the top of an ovule, which is called as the micropyle. The integument encloses a large parenchymatous tissue called as the nucellus. So the body of the ovule is made up of nucellus, whatever I had said. Correct? So ये जो nucellus है, ये क्या है? It's a group of tissue present inside the ovule. ठीक है? The residual part of the nucellus in the mature seed is called as perisperm. Now ये nucellus जो है ना, ये पूरा खत्म हो जाता है during the development of the seed. लेकिन by chance अगर nucellus नाम की कुछ चीज अगर बच जाती है seed में, तो उसको हम कहते हैं perisperm. Towards the micropyle in the nucellus, a female gametophyte is situated, which is known as the embryo sac. तो अब हमें ये पूरी कहानी देखनी है कि एम्ब्रियो सैक कैसे बनता है, न्यूसेलस किधर है, इंटेगुमेंट्स कहाँ पर है, ये सारी कहानी अब मैं आपको बताऊंगी. ओके, तो लेट अस गो अहेड विद अंडरस्टैंडिंग दीज पर्टिकुलर प्लांट्स. देखो, अ डाइसेक्टेड फ्लावर ऑफ द हिबिस्कस showing pistil, other floral parts have been removed. So you can see over here, this is the stigma, this is the style, this is the ovary present on the thalamus. Correct? Look at this. This is a multicarpellary syncarpous pistil of papaver. तो ये देखो, ये syncarpous है, इसके स्टिग्मा जो है ये सारे के सारे फ्यूज्ड है यहाँ पर. फाइन. ये एपोकार्पस है. सी, a multicarpellary apocarpus gynoecium of Michelia. ये देखो, ये मिशेलिया का एपोकार्पस ओवरी है. मिशेलिया को हम लोग लोकल लैंग्वेज में चंपा का फ्लावर कहते हैं. चंपा, यू माइट हैव हर्ड अबाउट दिस वर्ड चंपा का फूल. तो ये मिशेलिया इज चंपा. Here is a diagrammatic view of a typical anatropous ovule. So what is an anatropous ovule? आई टेल यू अबाउट इट. एनाट्रोपस का मतलब होता है उल्टा. उल्टा मतलब क्या? ये देखो, ये मेरा फोन जो है ये सीधा है. ओके, ये जो सीधा है ना उसको हम कहते हैं, ये जो सीधा है, इसको अगर मैं उल्टा कर दूं, मतलब क्या कर दूं, ये जो पार्ट है इसको मैं, ये है ना, ये माइक्रोपाइलर एंड, ये चलाजल एंड, ये नॉर्मल अपना ओव्यूल जो मैं बात कर रही थी. ओके. ओके. एंड इफ आई टर्न इट उल्टा, तो अभी माइक्रोपाइलर एंड कहाँ गया बेटा? करेक्ट. चलाजल एंड ऊपर आया और माइक्रोपाइलर एंड नीचे गया. राइट. सो एनाट्रोपल्स का मतलब होता है 180 डिग्री टर्न. What do you mean by the word anatropous? It turns 180 degree. Okay, so like that way, there are 6 different types of ovules which have been found in angiosperms. So we are going to talk about all these 6 different types of ovules and their, angles at which they turn, and uh, how the, ovule looks like is something that we have to talk about. Okay, so उसके पोजीशंस हमें देखने हैं, उसके पोजीशंस हमें देखने हैं और उसके नाम हमें देखने हैं. तो एनाट्रोपस का मतलब होता है द ओव्यूल व्हिच इज टर्न्ड एट 180 डिग्रीज, 180 डिग्रीज. ओके, सो दैट इज गोइंग टू बी कॉल्ड एज योर एनाट्रोपस. ठीक है. देन वी हैव गॉट समथिंग कॉल्ड एज एम्फीट्रोपस, सिसिनोट्रोपस. सारे 6 के 6 मैं तुम्हें एक्सप्लेन करूंगी. ये बॉक्स आया है बीच में अपने, ये बॉक्स को जाना पड़ेगा. मैं विद डायग्राम आपको सारे के सारे एक्सप्लेन करूंगी, but I'm just waiting for this box to go. Before that, by the time it goes, anyone is having any difficulty in understanding whatever I'm being saying since morning? 1 घंटे से जो बड़बड़ कर रही हूँ उसमें से कुछ डाउट है तुम्हें कि ओके है, सब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है? You all okay? You all have understood? Sure. Very good. If you all have understood, that's good. Box भी अपना चला गया. I'll move ahead. Yeah. Oh, fine. Here we had written this. So types of integuments, we have written this. Unitegmic, ovule with a single integument. Forget about sympetals, gamopetalous. It's not that very important. Bitegmic, ovule with 2 integuments, as in polypetally condition. Aril, yeah. Aril, I think so you might be knowing aril because when I had talked about the fruits and especially when I had talked about the strawberries, that time I had told you about this aril. Strawberry, lychee. लीची के टाइम पे मैंने आपको बताया था इट्स अ फॉल्स फ्रूट एंड व्हाट वी कंज्यूम इज द एरल ऑफ द फ्रूट. सो व्हाट इज एन एरल? अ कॉलर लाइक outgrowth from the base of the ovule and it forms the third integument. So 2 integuments normal होते हैं. Third integument अगर बनता है तो उसको हम कहते हैं aril. In case of lychee, the aril becomes fleshy, which we consume. Okay. Caruncle, it is formed as an outgrowth of the outer integument in the micropylar region. Caruncle is common in Euphorbiaceae. That means what will happen? That वो जो outer integument है ना, वो पूरे micropylar end को भी ढक देगा. बाहर तक ऊपर के तरफ ये micropylar end के तरफ ये integument आ जाएगा. That is called as caruncle. Ategmic, in some parasites like Viscum, Santalum, Laurelium and all, there is no integument. Such ovules are called as ategmic. So this we have already written, so no worries about it. Yeah, that is what I was talking about. What are the different kinds of ovules? Orthotropous, anatropous, hemianatropous, compyrotropous, amphitropous, circinotropous. So these are the 6 different types of ovules. Look at the diagram. Orthotropous. This is your micropylar end. This is your chalazal end. The way I had kept my hand. Micropylar end, chalazal end. Micropylar at the apex. Chalazal end is the basal end. Now look over here. This funicle, that is the stalk with which the ovule is attached. Where? To the placenta. So this is the placenta. Here will be the ovule attachment. So if this is going to be, look at my finger, if this is going to be the ovule attachment, if this is going to be the funicle, and my this particular part, consider this part as the ovule, so it is going to be attached like this way. So this part of attachment will be called as what? This part of attachment will be called as funicle, right? Now here they are saying the funicle. Here they are saying in orthotropous, I'm talking about the first one. In orthotropous, the funicle, chalaza, and micropyle lie in the same particular angle. Correct? They lie in a straight line. Correct now? So this is your funicle, this is your chalaza, this is your micropyle. So funicle, chalaza, and micropyle, when they lie in the same axis, we call them as orthotropous ovule. So let us look at the definition. See, the micropyle, chalaza, and funicle lie in a straight line. This type of an ovule is called as orthotropous ovule, yeah, atropous ovule. We generally use the word orthotropous. Fine. The most primitive type of ovules is going to be your orthotropous ovule. Okay. No need of remembering many details of the examples, but just for the sake of understanding, you may. Beetle, सुपारी, सुपारी होती है ना, तो वो जो सुपारी का जो बीटल नट होता है, okay, that is going to be having your orthotropous ovule. Piper, kali mirch, orthotropous ovule. Okay. Anatropous, just now I told you. Anatropous, the body of the ovule is completely inverted at 180 degrees. Just now I told you na. What is anatropous? Exact 180-degree turn. Correct? So here what will happen? The micropyle and the hilum come to lie very close to each other. So ये funicle है मेरा, ये ovule है. अब ये ovule ऐसा क्या हो गया? Turn हो गया, है ना? So now what is coming? This is the micropylar end. This is the hilum. So the micropyle and the hilum come to lie very close to each other. Okay. So look at the diagram of your anatropous ovule. ये देखो बेटा. Look at this. This is anatropous. This is the funicle, here is the hilum, and this is the micropyle. So the micropyle and the hilum come to lie very close to each other. And look how it has happened. It has taken a complete 180-degree turn. So now this is chalaza, this is micropyle. When I shift my hand like this way, chalazal part comes up and micropylar part goes down. That is 180-degree turn. Anatropous ovule. 82% of angiosperms are going to have anatropous ovule. So anatropous ovule is very famous, and even we are going to talk about the anatropous ovule only because 82% of the angiosperms is going to have anatropous ovule. Got it? So see, look at it. Yeah, example 82% of angiospermic families. Then hemianatropous. Hemi means halfway. Anatropous के halfway. मतलब अगर anatropous 180 degree है, तो hemianatropous 90 degree. Okay. So ovule turns at 90-degree angle upon the funicle of the body of the ovule, which comes to lie at the right angle of the funicle. So look at the diagram. ये देखो. This is the funicle. This is the micropyle. This is the chalaza. So it is going to lie at 90 degree. Correct? ये ऐसा. इसको हम क्या कहेंगे? Hemianatropous. Okay. Orthotropous all in one row. Anatropous 180-degree turn. Hemianatropous 90-degree turn. ठीक है? Easy है? Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Then there is something called as compylotropous. Compylotropous में क्या होता है? Ovule is going to be generally circled more towards the more or less at right angles to the funicle. It's not 90, it's not 180. It's more than 90 but less than 180. Geometry पढ़ा रही हूँ देखो मैं तुम्हें आज. हाँ, बायो का लेक्चर है या ज्योमेट्री का लेक्चर है? What's going on? But this is a fact, beta. 180-degree turn anatropous, 90-degree turn hemianatropous, more than 90, less than 180, compylotropous. Okay. So the micropylar end is bent slightly downwards. Example, members of the Fabaceae family and Cruciferae family. They are going to have this compylotropous. Exactly. So ये देखो, look at this, my dears. This is Campylotropis. So it is not completely downwards like your Anatropis. It is not completely 90 degree. So it's more than 90, less than 180. Got it? Campylotropis. Amphitropis. Now in Amphitropis, what we have to understand, amphi का मतलब होता है यहाँ पर both, मतलब curvature के जैसा. So this will be a complete curve. So see, curvature of ovule is more and embryo sac becomes curved like a horseshoe. ये जो येलो कलर का आपको स्ट्रक्चर दिखाई दे रहा है बेटा यहाँ पर, this yellow color का structure is going to be called as your embryo sac. How the embryo sac formation takes place, I'm going to explain of course. वो तो बताऊंगी मैं. तो ये एम्ब्रियो सैक है. तो ये एम्ब्रियो सैक है ना, इन एम्फीट्रोफिस बिकम्स मोर लाइक अ हॉर्स शू के जैसे बनता है. ये देखो, यू कैन सी दिस शेप ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो सैक, हाउ इट इज लाइक अ हॉर्स शू. एंड सिरसिनोट्रोपिस का मतलब होता है पहले ऑर्थो, फिर एना, फिर वापस ऑर्थो. सो ये ऐसे एक बार ये ऑर्थो है, एना होता है और फिर ऑर्थो होता है. So it's going to be a complete turn. It's called as 360 degree turn actually. Fine. So the ovule is initially orthotropous but becomes anatropous due to unilateral growth of funicle. The growth continues till the ovule once again becomes orthotropous. So कैसे बताऊं तुम्हें, फोन से ही बताऊं. ये देखो, ये पहले ऑर्थोट्रोपस है, फिर ये बन जाता है एनाट्रोपस, फिर ये बन जाता है वापस ऑर्थोट्रोपस. ओके, सो फ्यूनिकल विल गेट रैप्ड ओवर इट. इसीलिए उन्होंने ऐसे दिखाया है. देखो ये और इसमें फर्क क्या है, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? सी दिस became anatropous and again became orthotropous. So look at the covering of the funicle on it. पूरा उसको रैप कर लिया. So this is going to be called as circinotropous. Okay, so all these six are important: orthotropous, anatropous, hemianatropous, campylotropous, amphitropous, and circinotropous. All six are important. All six are important. Any difficulty in understanding these six names with their structures? Anyone who has not followed, quickly tell me. डायग्राम देखो अच्छी तरह से, किसी को कोई डाउट हो तो पूछो. आज क्या किसी को डाउट्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, या मतलब व्हाट्स द जादू टुडे? सब समझ रहा है कि कुछ भी नहीं समझ रहा है? जाने तो बाद में देख लेंगे रिकॉर्डिंग, क्या चल क्या रहा है. Circinotropous. It's called as Circinotropous. Because today is more of explanation type, so I'm not asking questions because ये ज्यादा explanatory है. ये तुम लोग को पता नहीं है, क्या पूछूंगी. Okay, got it? चलो, fine, good. Yeah, now let us come to the understanding that how this megaspore is going to be formed. It's very simple, it's very easy, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. ये वाला पार्ट एंड फर्टिलाइजेशन वाला पार्ट इतना मस्त है ना, मजा आता है. देखो, the ovule or the megasporangium develops as a small protuberance of the placental tissue. ये प्लेसेंटा है. या ये प्लेसेंटा है बेटा. ये प्लेसेंटा का ना आउटग्रोथ है. प्रोट्रूबरेंस का मतलब होता है आउटग्रोथ, है ना. तो ये प्लेसेंटा का ना आउटग्रोथ है. ये जो प्लेसेंटा का आउटग्रोथ है ना, दैट विल गिव राइज टू दिस मेगास्पोरेंजियम. Okay, so see, it is going to be the protuberance of the placental tissue. In the very young ovule, a single hypodermal cell is differentiated as archaeosporium initial cell, same like your microspore. But ये किधर का सेल है बेटा? प्लेसेंटा का सेल है. ठीक है, तो ये जो प्लेसेंटा का एक सेल है, वो प्रोट्रूबरेंस बाहर आया. उस वो जब यंग है, उस यंग ओव्यूल की एक सिंगल हाइपोडर्मल सेल है which will now be differentiated to form your archaeosporium cell. Okay, now what happens over here? See, this single archaeosporium cell में directly function as megaspore mother cell. एक सिंगल सेल बना और वो एक सिंगल सेल मेगास्पोर मदर सेल बना, ऐसे भी होता है. ओके, या कभी तो कभी कभी क्या होगा, डायरेक्टली एक जो सेल बना है आर्किस्पोरियल सेल, वो डायरेक्टली, अरे मेरा नेट, ओके, ये जो एक आर्किस्पोरियल सेल बना है, दिस आर्किस्पोरियल सेल में डायरेक्टली सिंगल सेल विल डायरेक्टली एक्ट एज एमएमसी. हियर एमएमसी इज गोइंग टू बी मेगास्पोर मदर सेल. Their MMC was microspore mother cell. Here MMC is megaspore mother cell. तो देखो क्या हुआ. This is the placental tissue. The placental tissue का protuberance आया, outgrowth आया. This outgrowth के कुछ ये जो outgrowth आया है, उसको हम कहते हैं young ovule का tissue. Now from this, one of the cells will be your archaeosporial cell. It will differentiate as archaeosporial cell, which directly acts as MMC. That means what will happen, directly megaspore mother cell में meiosis हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, if such thing happens, then that particular ovule is going to be called as tenunucellate ovule. Remember this word. This was asked almost 6 to 7 times in the last 20 years. tenunucellate ovule क्या होता है बेटा, एक ही आर्किस्पोरियल सेल बनती है जो डायरेक्टली meiosis अंडरगो करती है. ठीक है, and sometimes what will happen, this archisporial cell will further divide to make a tissue again called as sporogenous tissue. Understand? तो जैसे वहां पर भी स्पोरोजेनस टिश्यू बन रहा था माइक्रोस्पोर में, वैसे ही इधर भी स्पोरोजेनस टिश्यू बनता है. If such sporogenous tissue formation takes place, then this type of ovule will be called as crassinucellate ovule. देखो ये important word है, tenunucellate and crassinucellate. ठीक है, tenunucellate means one cell direct MMC. Crassinucellate means one archisporial cell dividing to form sporogenous tissue. Then it will be called as crassinucellate. Okay, so देखो, it will divide to form your parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell, crassinucellate. The sporogenous cell directly behaves as megaspore mother cell or megasporocyte. Okay, so sporogenous cells जो बने हैं ना, they will now act as your megaspore mother cell. So formation का starting समझा. Yeah, very much like that beta, you're right. Is it fine? Have you all followed this formation of megaspore का initial part? Then I'll move ahead. Okay. Tenunucellate and crassinucellate. Beware. The diploid megaspore mother cell enlarges in size and divides by meiosis to form a linear tetrad of 4 haploid megaspores. Of course, mother cell अगर मैं बोलती हूँ तो it is going to undergo meiosis. Meiosis अगर undergo करेगा तो 4 haploid cells बनेंगे. लेकिन यहाँ पर जो 4 haploid cells बनते हैं, they are not tetrahedral. They are linear. Yesterday we had seen the diagram of linear haploids. देखे थे ना? तो ये जो linear होते हैं ना, they are like in one row, right? So here the linear haploid megaspores are going to be formed. तो megaspore कैसे बना समझ में आया? Did you all understand how the megaspore formation took place? Okay. Occasionally T-shaped or inverted T-shaped tetrads are also formed. Megaspore is the first cell of female gametophyte. इसका मतलब ओव्यूल मेगा गैमेटोफाइट नहीं, फीमेल गैमेटोफाइट डायरेक्टली नहीं है. ओव्यूल विल गिव राइज टू मेगास्पोर and megaspore will be your female gametophyte. Okay, got it? Megaspore is the first cell of female gametophyte. Which third point you want me to explain, my dear? This tenunucellate वाला, it's very easy. देखो, हाँ, see, it's very simple, it's very easy. What we said just now, that this is going to be the placenta. Placenta का जो है, see, the ovule of the megasporangium develops from a small protuberance of the placental tissue. So this is the placental tissue. इसका एक small outgrowth निकल आता है जिसको हम protuberance कहते हैं, उससे ovule बनता है. तो ये जो young ovule है, okay, in the very young ovule, a single hypodermal cell gets differentiated as archesporium cell. Okay, तो ये जो टिश्यू है उसमें से कोई एक सेल will act as your hypodermal cell which will differentiate to form archesporial cell. This archesporial cell जो अभी बना है, जो differentiate हुआ है, मतलब who has attained a permanent shape, size and function, that is differentiation. उस differentiated cell will directly undergo meiosis, okay, to form 4 megaspores. Fine. If this type of development takes place, then that type of ovule will be called as tenunucellate ovule. But if this archesporial cell, instead of undergoing meiosis, undergoes mitosis, then it will form something called as the parietal cell, that is outsider cell, and inner cell, that is the sporogenous cell. And now the sporogenous cell will then further act as MMC to undergo meiosis. So either the archesporial cell may undergo meiosis or the archesporial cell will undergo mitosis to form the sporogenous cell, and then the sporogenous cell will undergo meiosis to form 4 megaspores. So either directly या indirectly, but megaspores 4 बनने ही वाले हैं. ठीक है, तो ये जो 4 हैप्लॉइड सेल्स बने हैं, ये 4 हैप्लॉइड सेल्स को हम कहते हैं मेगास्पोर. तो ये कहाँ बने बेटा, ये कहाँ बने मेगास्पोर्स? ये ओव्यूल के अंदर जो न्यूसेलस है उसमें से किसी एक सेल में मेगास्पोर बने हैं. ओके ना, गॉट इट नाउ? यस, फाइन फाइन. So the megaspore is the first cell of the female gametophyte. Megaspore is the first cell of the female gametophyte. Means now the megaspore will form the female gamete. That means the megaspore will form the egg inside it. Okay. One of the linear tetrad, of the linear tetrad, 3 megaspore towards the micropylar end degenerate, while the lowermost, which is going to lie near the chalazal end, remains functional. It produces an embryo sac. अब देखो ये ना डायग्राम से और अच्छा एक्सप्लेन हम लोग कर पाते हैं. Yes, look at this. This is the way I'll be explaining. So here you can see here, okay, ये मेगास्पोर मदर सेल एक जो है ये डिफरेंशिएट हो चुकी है. It could be the archesporial cell which has differentiated to form the MMC, or it could be the sporogenous cell of the division of the archesporial cell which acts as MMC. Okay, so this megaspore mother cell will undergo meiosis, right? Correct. So look at it. It is undergoing meiosis, है ना? First meiosis gives rise to 2 cells, that is megaspore dyad, and second meiosis will give rise to 4 haploids. Can you see the 4 haploids over here? Correct. So 1 MMC gives rise to 4 haploids. These 4 are going to be called as megaspores. Okay. अब देखो एंड देखो, ये है अपना माइक्रोपाइलर एंड, ये है अपना चलाजल एंड. ये है माइक्रोपाइलर एंड, ये है चलाजल एंड. ये है माइक्रोपाइलर एंड, ये है चलाजल एंड. तो वो कह रहे हैं कि माइक्रोपाइलर एंड के 1 सेल्स है ना डीजनरेट हो जाते हैं. ठीक है. So 3 megaspores get degenerated out of 4 and only 1 remains viable. एक ही sustain करता है, एक ही मतलब functional रहता है. And therefore this 4th megaspore will be called as functional megaspore. What do we call this? Functional megaspore. Okay. तो ये देखो दिस इज अ टेट्राड, उसमें से 3 gets degenerated, 1 sustains, and the one which sustains will be called as functional megaspore. कुछ बात समझ में आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है? Are you following this बेटा? Here, ये देखो. Now again I'll talk about it. So see, of the linear tetrad, 3 megaspores towards the micropyle degenerate. The lowermost, that is going to be near the chalazal end, will enlarge and it remains functional, and that will be called as your functional megaspore. Okay, it later produces an embryo sac. It later produces an embryo sac. तो ये जो एक अकेला बेचारा मेगास्पोर जिंदा बच गया है, उसके अंदर एम्ब्रियो सैक बनेगा. समझ में आ रहा है? तो वो कैसे बनेगा वो हमें देखना है. So anyone having any difficulty with megasporogenesis, how the megaspore is formed, किसी को नहीं समझा है? Anyone who has not followed this, please do let me know. Everyone understood? Very good. Great. Okay. Now we'll talk about the formation of the female gamete. That is how gametogenesis or the egg formation or the embryo sac formation takes place. I'll tell you beta where the embryo sac is going to be made. अभी समझेगा तुम्हें. I'll tell you right now. Okay. The process of development of female gametophyte or the embryo sac from the megaspore is called as megagametogenesis. It could be monosporic type, that is polygonum type. What does that mean? In this type, only one megaspore situated towards the chalazal end takes part in the development of embryo sac. तो 4 थे, 4 में से सिर्फ एक बचा. अगर एक ही मेगास्पोर फंक्शनल होता है तो उसको हम कहते हैं मोनोस्पोरिक टाइप ऑफ मेगास्पोर. Fine. See, the functional haploid megaspore enlarges in size and by means of 3 successive mitotic divisions give rise to 8 nucleated embryo sacs. Of these, 4 nuclei occur at the micropylar end and other 4 at the chalazal end. Look at it. I'll explain with the diagram, then only you will understand this. See. Now, I'll do one thing. Better option क्या है? What is the better option? Tell me. Yes, you all are right. This is a better option. है ना? This is the best thing that I love to do. Pay attention to this. You will understand everything. Okay? See. So, I just try to draw this. It's difficult to draw with this particular pen, but still I'll try to make it. So, you know this is what your style stigma and ovary, correct? Now, in this ovary, please pay attention. Huh? This, if you understand this now, the content will be very easy for you all to understand further. So, this is going to have this placenta. Okay, ये placenta है, ये funicle है, ये ovule है, correct? ये ovule है. So we have got the placenta, we have got the funicle, we have got the ovule. यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया बेटा? Right? अब ये मैं ovule को zoom कर रही हूँ या ये मैं ovule को बड़ा कर रही हूँ. ठीक है? I'm just making that ovule enlarged. Fine? So on that enlargement, ये ovule जो है ये enlarge करने के बाद it will look something like this way. Fine? Got it? On this, you will be having integuments. I'm not drawing the integuments as of now. Okay? And ये देखो, ये जो ovule है, इसके अंदर ये ऐसे ना cells होते हैं बेटा. ये देखो, ये cells होते हैं. ये cells जो है ना, they are your nucellar cells. What are they? They are your nucellar cells या इसको हम कहते हैं nucellus. What do we call it as? We call it as nucellus. Okay, see this. So this is your nucellus. Could you understand? तो ये nucellus कहाँ पर है? ये ovule के अंदर. Fine. Now here, I'm drawing it. It's an anatropous ovule. इसलिए ये है मेरा micropylar end और ये है मेरा chalazal end. Okay, got it? But अगर मैं anatropous ovule draw करूँगी, anatropous means उल्टा. So where will be the micropylar end? Can you tell me? Micropylar end कहाँ चला जाएगा? उल्टा हो जाएगा. So where will be the micropylar end? Yes, exactly. So this becomes my micropyle and this becomes my chalaza. ठीक है? Anatropous ovule है इसलिए. Correct? Yes, correct बेटा. Now what happens? See, now one of the cells of the nucellus which has differentiated, one of the cells of the nucellus which has differentiated to form the archisporial cell will be near the micropylar end. So I am taking this particular cell जो मैं रेड में बनाऊंगी, ये देखो, ये जो मेरी सेल है ये वाली. कैन यू सी दिस रेड कलर का सेल वेरी क्लियरली नाउ? So this red color का cell, I have considered it to be the MMC. That means it is going to undergo what, beta? It is going to undergo meiosis. Agreed? Agreed? So after undergoing meiosis, what will happen? It will form what? It will form 4 linear tetrads. Correct? तो इसको मैं थोड़ा सा अब enlarge करके तुम्हें दिखाती हूँ. I'll show you as an enlarged form. Same diagram, I'm just enlarging it so that you understand what I'm trying to tell you also. ये देखिए, ये देखिए. So this is going to be that red color का cell ना. So see, this is your first, second, third, and fourth. तो बाकी ग्रीन कलर का जो न्यूसेलस है ना वो वैसे के वैसा इंटैक्ट है बेटा. So did you all understand at which position this particular 4 megaspore formations are taking place? Can you all understand this now? So ये जो है ना my dears, ये जो है ना इसको मैं नाम दे रही हूँ. I am giving this the name MMC. That means what my dears? Megaspore mother cell. Correct? और ये जो 4 बनी हैं, ये जो 4 बनी हैं, what are these? ये जो 4 है, what are these? These 4 are going to be called as ठीक है. तो दिस इज योर स्टाइल स्टिग्मा ओवरी. ओवरी के अंदर है प्लेसेंटा, प्लेसेंटा से अटैच्ड है फ्यूनिकल, फ्यूनिकल से अटैच्ड है ओव्यूल, ओव्यूल is made up of nucellus. One of the cells of the nucellus near the micropylar end acts as MMC. It will undergo meiosis to give rise to 4 haploids. Can you understand now whatever is being said? Correct? Now they are saying out of the 4 megaspores, 3 megaspores degenerate. 3 megaspores degenerate and only one remains alive, which is towards the chalazal end. तो हु इज टुवर्ड्स द चलाजा लैंड, अगर देखोगे तो ये देखो बेटा, ये हमारा चलाजा है, ये हमारा चलाजा है, और ये हमारा micropyle है. So who will get degenerated? The first tree towards the micropylar end will get degenerated. Agreed? So technically speaking, only one who will survive is this one. ये तीनों जो है, ये तीनों क्या हो जाएंगे? Degenerate हो जाएंगे. Can you understand this now? Right? Now what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to zoom this only one. ये जो एक बचा हुआ है ना, ये जो एक सिर्फ बचा हुआ है ना, उसका नाम है, what we call it, my dears? We call it as functional megaspore. This diagram is the enlarged form of MMC. No, yeah, I mean this form, this is the MMC के बाद जो 4 haploid cells बने हैं ना, उसका enlarged form है. Okay, so the MMC has undergone meiosis to form 4 haploids. So that particular 4 haploids have been drawn. Okay. First diagram पे चला जा micropyle कैसे मैं? Okay, I'll do it for you. चल. ये देखो, ये जो है ना, ये है अपना चलाजा. ये चलाजा है, और ये जो है नियर द क्यूनिकल वाला जो है ना, that is going to be the micropyle. Okay, okay, fine. So now you understood what is happening all together. हाँ, so अब अगर मैं ये functional megaspore को enlarge करती हूँ, so how will it look like? See, so मैं और इसको अभी enlarge, I don't want it to be this color. I want it to be green in color, so it will be easy for me. So ये देखो, ये जो है ना, ये सेम डायग्राम को मैं enlarge कर रही हूँ. CNM सेम, ओके, इसी को मैं enlarge कर रही हूँ, और उसके अंदर अब मैं enlarge कर रही हूँ ये जो functional megaspore है ना, उसको. So ये functional megaspore को मैं enlarge कर रही हूँ अभी, जो एक ही बचा है. Fine. So if I have to label it, this is going to be my functional megaspore, right? This is my चलाजा, नीचे है मेरा माइक्रोपाइल. ठीक है, ओके. अब ये फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर तक की कहानी समझी है? अब कुछ समझ में आ रहा है बेटा क्या हो रहा है? फाइन. अब ये फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर में आगे क्या होता है, समथिंग वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, so this functional megaspore will undergo first mitotic division. So the first mitotic division in the functional megaspore क्या होता है वो देखना है. बट उसके पहले ये सारे जो भी मेगास्पोर्स है ना, इनमें सब में क्या है बेटा, इनमें सब में क्या है? They all are going to have what? They all are going to have this nucleus. Okay, so ये मुझे ब्लैक कलर का चाहिए, मैंने ब्लैक दिया फिर भी नहीं हुआ. I'll tell you why I want that black. Okay, तो ये functional megaspore के अंदर उसका क्या है? न्यूक्लियस है. Now what happens in your functional megaspore? So now I will enlarge the functional megaspore for you all. or you want me to enlarge that green part also? Chal, I'll do it for you. Okay, इसके अंदर है अपना फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर जो अभी बड़ा हो चुका है, फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर बड़ा हो चुका है, राइट। और ये जो फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर है इसके अंदर आफ्टर फर्स्ट माइटोटिक डिवीजन once nucleus becomes two nucleated structure. So after first mitosis क्या हो गया बेटा, two nuclei बन गए, but it is only going to be your karyokinases, cytokinases नहीं हो रहा है, it is going to be delayed cytokinases. मतलब क्या हो गया, it won't have cell wall formation, only the nucleus will divide. So this is one nucleus inside the functional megaspore. One nucleus will undergo first mitotic divisions to have two nuclei, as you can see over here. Correct? Now the two nuclei will further undergo one more mitosis to form what? Two more nuclei. To form what? Two more nuclei. So second mitosis will give rise to two more nuclei. Okay? All these four nuclei will again undergo the third mitosis to give four more nuclei. बराबर है, एक से दो, दो से चार, चार से आठ, तो ये चार है, ये चार के चार वापस माइटोसिस अंडरगो करेंगे और चार न्यूक्लियाई बनाएंगे। कितने बनाए भाई मैंने, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 8 न्यूक्लियाई कैसे बने समझा तुम्हें, है कोई डाउट बेटा किसी को भी? तो ये देखो, ये स्टाइल स्टिग्मा ओवरी है, ओवरी के अंदर ओव्यूल है, ओव्यूल को जब मैंने एनलार्ज किया तो मुझे न्यूसेलस मिला। अच्छा, आई विल शो यू दैट आल्सो, आई हैव नॉट लेबल्ड न्यूसेलस, सो आई लेबल न्यूसेलस सेल आल्सो। ये देखो, ये जो सारे सेल्स है ना, दीज आर योर न्यूसेलस सेल्स। ओके, मुझे न्यूसेलस मिला, one of the cells of the nucellus which is differentiated to form your archisporial cell या फिर sporogenous cell whatever will act as MMC. Near the micropylar end वाला cell will act as MMC, which I have made it in red in color. This MMC will undergo meiosis to form four haploid cells which are called as four megaspores. Of the four megaspores, three will degenerate, only one towards the chalazal end will sustain, which will be called as functional megaspore. The functional megaspore will then undergo successive three mitotic divisions of the nucleus to form 8 nuclei. कहानी समझ में आ रही है? Are you all getting me what I'm trying to tell you, my dears? Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Okay. If you all have understood this particular thing, now you will understand what will happen next. So can I go ahead with what will happen next? Have you all followed this, whatever I have drawn on the whiteboard for you all? जाऊं आगे? I hope you all have copied this. I did not tell you all this, now start copying karke. You should be able to copy this on your own now. Have you all copied or no? Last diagram कर लो कर लो कर लो। तो ये जो ग्रीन कलर है ना बेटा, ये न्यूसेलस का है। ये जो रेड कलर है ना बेटा, ये मेगास्पोर है, फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर है। और ये जो ब्लैक कलर है ना, ये न्यूक्लियस है। ओके, गॉट इट? इसलिए मैंने कलर्स अलग अलग लिए हैं, सो दैट यू वोंट गेट कंफ्यूज्ड। सो दैट ग्रीन कलर ओव्यूल है, ओव्यूल के अंदर फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर है, फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर के अंदर 8 न्यूक्लियाई बने हैं। डन डन, यस, फाइन। ऑल ऑफ यू बेटा, all of you all have done this? Okay, okay. So I'll stop this share and I'll come back to our normal sharing. अरे ये नहीं, ये yeah, fine. So you saw just now which I have drawn that these are the two nuclei, right? First mitotic division give us 2 nuclei. Second mitotic division will give us 4 nuclei, and the third mitotic division will give us 8 nuclei. You can see the 8 nuclei, right? And these 8 nuclei will then get arranged in a particular form, which will then get a cell wall. They'll now get a cell wall. So here you can see very clearly that how the cell wall formation takes place. ओके, सो यहाँ पर है अपना 1 2 3 सेल्स इधर है, इधर 1 2 3 सेल्स इधर है और 2 न्यूक्लियाई इधर है। तो ये चल रहा है, अभी तक इसका डेवलपमेंट चल रहा है। नाउ इफ यू लुक एट इट, दिस इज द राइट वे। सी, सो इन दिस वे एट द माइक्रोपाइलर एंड यू विल गेट 1 and 2 cells, जिसमें अभी ये जो न्यूक्लियाई बने हैं ना, they get embedded. That will be called as your synergids. This will be your egg cell. So this one single egg will be formed inside this particular structure. Okay, and here these are your two polar nuclei which are going to be present in this central cell. You can see this one large cell which is called as central cell, and the 3 nuclei will move towards the chalazal end, which will get a wall that will be called as antipodal cell. तो 8 में से 3 न्यूक्लियाई माइक्रोपाइलर एंड के तरफ आते हैं, 3 न्यूक्लियाई चलाजल एंड के तरफ जाते हैं और 2 न्यूक्लियाई सेंटर में रहते हैं। तो जो 3 न्यूक्लियाई चलाजल एंड के तरफ जाते हैं, उनको जो वॉल्स मिलने के बाद जो सेल्स बनते हैं उसको हम कहते हैं एंटीपोडाल। ओके, जो माइक्रोपाइलर एंड के तरफ 3 न्यूक्लियाई आते हैं, उनके ऊपर सेल वॉल आता है। तो 3 में से 2 को हम कहते हैं सिनर्जिड्स और जो एक है उसको हम कहते हैं एग। सो 3 + 3 6 सेल्स यहाँ पर बन गए। और जो 2 पोलर न्यूक्लियाई है विच डू नॉट, हमें लगता है कि इनके ऊपर कोई भी सेल वॉल नहीं है, बेटा वो सेंट्रल सेल में है। सेंट्रल सेल इज दिस वन लार्ज सेल, यू कैन सी दिस। ये जो है ये एक लार्ज सेल है, इसके अंदर ये 2 न्यूक्लियाई है। सो 8 न्यूक्लियाई get arranged as free antipodals at the chalazal end, 3 at the micropylar end, 2 at the center. चलाजल एंड वाले सेल्स को कहते हैं एंटीपोडाल, माइक्रोपाइलर वाले सेल्स 3 बनते हैं, उसमें से 2 को कहते हैं सिनर्जिड और एक को कहते हैं एग। फाइन, इन दिस वे ये जो अब स्ट्रक्चर बना है ये फंक्शनल मेगास्पोर के अंदर बना है, इसको अब हम कहेंगे एम्ब्रियो सैक। व्हाट वी विल कॉल दिस एज, विल कॉल दिस एज एम्ब्रियो सैक। ओके, got this my dears? Any difficulty in understanding this? Any difficulty? I'll repeat the process, don't worry, but still. And why synergids become different from the egg? ये तो जैसे 3 एंटीपोडाल्स बने हैं वैसे 3 एग्स क्यों नहीं बने? एक एग बना और 2 synergids क्यों बने? Because these 2 synergids would develop a finger-like structure inside it, which is called as filiform apparatus. उसको हम क्या कहते हैं? filiform apparatus, जो एग में नहीं बनेगा, ये सिनर्जिड में बनेगा। सो सिनर्जिड्स अलग दिखेंगे, एग सेल अलग दिखेगा। ओके, देन 2 synergids plus 1 egg cell together 3 cells would be called as egg apparatus. क्या कहते हैं हम इनको? एग apparatus कहते हैं। ओके, गॉट इट? एनी डिफिकल्टी? Any doubts? So this is a mature embryo sac ready for the zygote formation. Because the zygote formation takes place over here and the embryo development takes place over here, this particular sac will be called as embryo sac. इधर तक कहानी समझिए पूरी. हाँ, वापस एक बार बताऊं. Listen carefully. Okay, so we have got the style stigma ovary. The ovary will be having placenta. Placenta का outgrowth निकल आएगा, which will form your nucellus. One of the cells of the nucellus differentiates to act as MMC. This MMC will undergo meiosis to form 4 haploid cells, which are called as megaspores. Out of the 4 megaspores, 3 degenerate, 1 sustains, which is going to be towards the chalazalane. This megaspore, which is going to remain alive or which is sustained, would be called as functional megaspore. The functional megaspore will undergo 3 mitotic divisions with only karyokinases and delayed cytokinases, giving rise to 8 nuclei. These 8 nuclei will rearrange themselves and now will get a cell wall. The 3 cells towards the chalaza ends would be called as antipodal cells. The 3 cells towards the micropylar end would be called as egg apparatus. The egg apparatus will be made up of 2 synergids and 1 egg cell, while the 2 nuclei would be remaining suspended free at the center of the central cell. In this way, at the end of the mature embryo sac formation, it would have 7-celled, 8 nucleated structure. 7 cell कैसे समझे ना? 3 एग apparatus के, 3 एंटीपोडाल के, 6 हो गए. और ये जो सेंट्रल सेल है ये 7वीं सेल है जिसमें ये पोलर न्यूक्लियाई सस्पेंडेड है. क्लियर? एनी प्रॉब्लम, एनी डिफिकल्टी? Anyone who did not understand this, please, this is very crucial, very, very crucial. This is also asked in your board exams for 4 marks. Egg apparatus. This is a group of 3 cells situated at the micropylar end. The centrally located cell is called as the egg cell. The egg cell is fertile. On its sides are present 2 synergids. Synergids are sterile. Egg cell has a large vacuole at its upper end and prominent nucleus near its lower end. Synergids show a filiform apparatus, that is a finger-like thing that I told you, attached to the upper wall. It is known to attract the pollen tube. So, pollen tube को सीटी मारने का काम synergid करते हैं, rather synergid का filiform apparatus करता है. सीटी मारने का काम मतलब attract करने का काम नहीं, local language में बोलती. It is known to attract and guide the pollen tube. Each of the synergid has a vacuole and its lower end and the nucleus at its upper end. So that's about your egg apparatus, which I told you all just now. Polar nuclei, these are situated in the center of the embryo sac, representing a large binucleate central cell. बड़ी वाली cell को हम central cell कहते हैं. Generally, both the polar nuclei fuse before fertilization and form a single diploid nucleus called as a secondary nucleus, जो मैं fertilization के part में explain करूँगी. Antipodals, the 3 cells situated near the chalazal end are called as antipodals. These are generally going to degenerate after fertilization. Polygonum type occurs in about 70% of angiosperm and it is a common type of embryo sac. Bisporic type, in this type 2 megaspore nuclei take part in the embryo formation. Tetrasporic में 4. हमारा जो है ना वो मोनोस्पोरिक है. ओके, एक ही मेगास्पोर फंक्शनल है, 3 डीजेनरेट होते हैं. बाइस्पोरिक में 2 फंक्शनल रहते हैं, 2 डीजेनरेट होते हैं. टेट्रास्पोरिक में कोई डीजेनरेट होता नहीं है, 4 के 4 मेगास्पोर जो है एम्ब्रियो सैक बन जाते हैं. ओके, फाइन. So you want me to go to this slide? Okay. So with this, we complete with the megasporogenesis as well as megagametogenesis also. Any problem, any difficulty in understanding anything? Have you all understood this very nicely? No problem. Oh, fine. So here we complete with microsporogenesis and we also complete with megasporogenesis. Okay. अब जो है वो हमें फर्टिलाइजेशन कैसे होता है वो देखना है और फर्टिलाइजेशन कौन कैरी आउट करता है who brings about the pollen grains and all is going to be coming under your pollination. So pollination का जो part है that is again like in detail we'll be talking about it. So I don't want to hurry up right now. For today, I'll stop the lecture and in the next class, we can go ahead with pollination. Fine? Okay? Chal. See you all. I hope microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis clear है बेटा आपको. I don't want any difficulties and problems in this. अगर कुछ है तो you can of course tell me. Ask me anytime. Okay? Fine. So thank you so much and see you all in the next class with going ahead of pollination. Bye. See you all.